Welcome back to the Country Telegraph. Kim Nillson has been involved with horses all her life, having worked with them overseas and owning her own up to the present day. It all started for her when her mother suddenly passed away when she was 8 years old. Went from being a lively, mischievous, happy child to becoming withdrawn and distant around people. Out of desperation, her father introduced her to horses, and so after her first ride, probably came off about 10 times, and coming home covered in saddle sores and blisters, she was finally able to cry for the first time after losing her mum. Now, Kim feels horses saved her, and she has been around them ever since. Having this background with horses has stirred Kim up to do whatever she can for our heritage brumbies. Kim, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It must upset you a lot, and to think about what's happening at the moment to these magnificent creatures in the Kosciuszko National Park.
Yeah. Yeah. It's quite disturbing.
You mustn't get emotional, otherwise we're going to have a duo of blubbering people. But it's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought I was going to keep it together.
No, that's all right. I do this to people, you see. I'm a bringer of good news and happy tidings. Not really. Look, let's just keep this then down to the facts. The RSPCA.
Yeah.
Look, here's something for you. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
RSPCA.
Who?
That's right. So there you are. What's your thoughts about the RSPCA?
Pretty disgusted, really. It's like I was watching one of the videos where Wes Fang was interviewing Steve Coleman, and his opening question was, describe for me how you would euthanize a racehorse without prosecution. And Steve Coleman stood there like a deer in the spotlight, and he didn't really want to answer the question. And to me, the impression I get, he's just looking after his own interests. I feel, like there's probably a lot of people working in the RSPCA who are decent people with good intentions and probably, just as angry and disgusted and disappointed with what's going on as the rest of us.
Yeah, I totally agree. The RSPCA, and I mean, we've got to be, quite honest here. They are associated with looking after, and they do look after many, many animals. And they do. The people, the volunteers that work for the RSPCA do it from, most of them do it, in fact, probably all of them, from the goodness of their heart. But as a body, as a controlling body, the RSPCA, and this is only in my humble opinion, is a disgrace to those volunteers.
Yeah.
So
that's what I mean. The volunteers and the good people that are working in that organisation, they might be really disappointed with what's going on.
You saw it, I guess, before talking about the torture. I mean, even 5% left dying in agony, which is torturous. I would probably say a lot more.
Yeah.
I think, though, because they are intelligent creatures, and I always, and I probably shouldn't do it, but I always put myself in the position of how would I feel if I was that, whether it's seas, whether it's senseless killings or whatever, how would I feel leading up to a point of whatever that point has been determined to be. And I think of the terror, I think of the terror for the families, whether they're human or horses. And we know that these horses, and they're very intelligent. they know what's happening and they feel quite helpless. And to see their families obliterated, and then having Jack Goff's Invasive Species Council and government and all the others saying, and they're very happy. They want to see horses gone out of these areas. They want to take
Total eradication.
Yeah, they want to take us back before Captain Cook. If I was here before or had ancestors before Captain Cook, I'd be worried because the next step will be those dinosaurs. We're going to bring those dinosaurs back. We have to have our natural environment. What they don't understand, and I think you would agree, is that the world has changed. You can't go back to the past. You have to live in harmony.
Exactly.
And we're not living in harmony at the moment. We have these people that, and I refer to them as bridge gluers, used to glue themselves to roads and stuff. In my opinion, to be going, again, my humble opinion, to be doing what they're doing to these magnificent creatures is they've lost the plot. They do not deserve to be listened to. And the misinformation that they peddle under the guise of science or public opinion or whatever, it is pure Jack Goff. Listen to me, I'm telling you now, it is pure propaganda. It is not the truth. And unfortunately, the Australians, because propaganda is meant to do that, a lot of them are drinking the Kool-Aid and think it's right. It is not right, is it?
It's absolutely not. And I think a lot of it's based on ignorance as well. I was having a good think about this and all those, Jack Goff and his cronies that are there, half of them don't know the front end to the arse end of a horse. They don't know. And I think if you're going to, have a job where you're controlling animals and dealing with them in certain ways, you need to have some knowledge in order to do it humanely.
Yeah, I totally agree. How do we demand more from our government, first of all, the New South Wales government? And by the way, the Victorian government joined at the hip with the New South Wales government because of their ideology being Labor. The number of horses in the Bogong High Plains is probably zero at this stage. So Victoria, under the guise of these bridge gluers, have achieved what we should be entirely ashamed of ourselves for doing. And now they're trying to replicate the same thing in the Kosciuszko National Park. How do we get governments to do more and to start listening to reason and doing the right thing?
Well, I think, people are doing a great job in getting it out there to the public. And to be honest, they're just not listening. And it's a difficult question to answer. All we can do is keep putting on the pressure, I guess, and hopefully getting more influential people on board to back us up.
What should okay?
Being heard, but they're not.
I totally agree. First of all, there are other alternatives to culling, aren't there? Tell us about those.
100%. There's the rehoming. There's the taking them to sanctuaries. And, one of the recent things that was Fang, Steve, trying to convince everybody that chasing horses in helicopters and quad bikes, running them into the ground and then peppering them with bullets is more humane than quietly putting them on a truck and taking them to a sanctuary so they can live out their days. And there are loads of sanctuaries out a scream. We want the brumbies out of the park, we'll do it for you. And, it's not going to cost the taxpayer. It costs us what, 8 million for this coal, and you've got these sanctuaries and all that jumping up and down saying we can remove them for you and go to a safe place. And so there are alternatives. There are much better alternatives. Along with, if they wanted to do the program, of either gelding stallions or anything like that, there's heaps of other opportunities.
Yeah, I agree. We need to do more. And next week, I'll mention this after 8:30. We want to thank many people for enabling us to get up there to do our bit. It'll be exhausting.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back and have a bottle of scotch when I get back, by the way, not beforehand, because it's going to be a very, very emotional and exhausting time. But we do need to do more. We can't do much more than what we're doing. And if we can make a difference and bring it to the attention of the entire world to put a stop to it, because me personally thinks that there should be no more killing ever. Forget just this one, no more killing. Let's just sit down and work out a much more humane way. And when I say humane, that's not bumping the knocking the heads, shooting that as we drop out. They're shooting these poor horses, and I think Kim has actually just disappeared at the moment because we have an internet connection. Obviously, the ISCs, they're pulling out buttons. Oh, there she is. Pull that one out. Something like that. Anyway, very sad though indeed. I've got to thank also to Kim Nillson. What a brilliant person, and thank you very much for your support too. More about some of the nefarious activities happening around Australia and some answers to those nefarious activities here on the Country Telegraph.
Tell my fool I kept on running. Tell my mare I heard her cry. Tell the mountain I belonged here. Tell the wind I said goodbye. Brumby hoof prints etched for generations in the snow. I've watched the foals become the mares, the stallions old and slow. Here in the snowy mountains where my life began, across hills, ridges and open plains, my fellow brumbies ran. I've led them through winter storms, drought and summer rain, but I can't outrun what follows now. Shield my family from this pain. My ancestors crossed the oceans, but I was born upon this land. These mountains are my birthplace, the Snowies are my clan. These mountains hold our memories, our family history. If home is where you're raised, then this is where we should be. Tell my foal I kept on running. Tell my mare I heard her cry. Tell the mountain I belonged here. Tell the wind I said goodbye. Stay close beside me, little one. The thunder isn't rain. The sky itself is hunting us, and I cannot stop the pain. I gather those I love and turn to face the sound. Though every instinct tells me run, there's no ground. Thunder. Again and again, my heart grows quiet as bullets rain. I thought I had more seasons, more rivers left to roam, more sunrises with my Kosciuszko clan before the mountains called me home. Tell them I was born here, my grandfathers fought their wars. Remind them that this was our home, the snowy mountains were ours. Tell my fool I knew her fear, tell my mare I heard her call, tell my fool I tried to save them, tell the wind how brumbies fall. Tell my fool I kept on running, tell my mare I heard her cry, tell the mountain